What is up, everybody? It is Kyle from the Boat Breakers, and I want to wish you guys a happy and safe new year. We have an awesome video for you guys today, so let's just dive right into it. So I just want to preface this video by saying a cruise is an amazing way to travel around the world and see multiple countries in one vacation, and you don't have to worry about any hotels, and you don't even have to worry about most of your food options because it's all taken care of in the same vicinity. But the world is a much different place than what it was a year ago, and it's a very, very different place for 2 and 3 years ago. We've seen plenty of companies across the world cut back their services and increase their costs, and cruising is no exception. It seems like the world is pretty much back to normal, and with 2023 right around the corner, I don't think anything that bad could happen unless like a new virus or World War III breaks out or the price of popcorn just becomes ridiculously expensive. But since we're getting back to normal, does that really mean everything's back to normal? And the real question is cruising going to be back to normal? Before the little virus in 2020, cruising was a very cheap and affordable way to cruise, and pretty much everything was included in your cruise fare. However, now a lot of cruise lines have cut back and charged additional costs for almost everything. We have Royal Caribbean charging for lobster on formal nights, Carnival limiting the amount of entrees you can have, Norwegian has increased gratuities, other companies have cut back services and have charged more. So let's talk about why 2023 might be the worst experience for a cruiser ever. So when we look back in 2022, literally a year ago from today, we had a little variant called Omicron, which meant most of the ships were sailing at under half capacity. We were on the Mardi Gras and it was at 40% capacity, and it was lovely, but there were still some kinks that needed to be worked out on the service side. Now most cruise lines, however, are sailing at over 100% capacity, and it's getting harder and harder to find workers on these cruise ships. Visas are still really hard to come by for most of these cruise companies, and we've gotten used to the service, but in 2023, some of these work visas are expiring, and they're still not replenishing the work visas at the rate that they need to be. So with the combination of all these mega ships coming out that have a capacity of 6,000 to 7,000 people, and crew becoming harder and harder to find, it's going to equal a really tough supply and demand. So what does that mean for you, the person sailing on these ships? Well, you're not going to get the best service. You're going to be paying more for gratuities because each cruise line is now competing to get crew members on board. Norwegian is offering an increased rate for gratuities, which is drawing some people to them, and I feel like other cruise lines are going to have to follow suit and start charging more. Another change in 2023 is that smaller ships are falling by the wayside. Carnival has just announced that 3 of their smaller ships are going to be leaving their fleet. And unfortunately, it's a shame that smaller ships are falling by the wayside because those are what paved the way for cruising. Smaller ships mean more intimate service, which means your waiter and waitresses get to know you. It's a really nice personal touch. It's also a lot easier to become connected on these smaller ships because you're going on these larger ships that have 10 zones, and if those 10 zones have 200 people in them, that's 2,000 people that's just dispersed throughout the ship. However, on the older ships, you really only have the Lido deck and then some of the bars that are on the inside of the ship, which means that could be 500 people that are always going to be going to the same place for the entire week. So chances are if you're going to the same place over and over for a week, you're going to get acquainted with the same people who like the same things as you, whether it's hanging out at the bar by the poolside, whether it's people just hanging out in the hot tub, people that are going to the casino, or the people that just hang out inside the lobby bar and get a nice cocktail. With passengers getting dispersed around in the larger ships, it makes it for a less personal experience when it comes to building connections. You still get an awesome cruise and you have a bunch of different options, but with those different options, it's more so going to be hanging out with the people that you're traveling with instead of meeting people and hearing their stories from where they're from, which is personally what I like. I like to meet people, have conversation, and kind of just let loose. In 2023, specifically, Carnival has mentioned in their earnings call for Wall Street that they aren't even looking to have repeat customers. They just want to get new cruisers on board, meaning they expect the quality of their vacations to be a little bit less than what they have been in the past. But since they're new cruisers, new to the brand, they won't know what they're missing out on because they'll have nothing to compare it to, which means if they drive away the loyal cruisers, that means they'll have to give out less free water bottles, less free VIP parties. So Carnival's actually betting that the repeat cruisers not coming back saves them money on benefits that they don't have to give out anymore. And this definitely hits home with me because on the last few cruises that I've been on with Carnival, I haven't been too impressed. I personally have seen Carnival's food quality decline. Where it was even a year ago in 2021 is light years away from where it is now, and we can still expect it to decline even more, which really is deterring me from sailing Carnival. But enough about Carnival. Royal Caribbean has also done plenty of cutbacks. Like I said in the beginning of the video, they are now charging for that lobster dinner on formal nights. But wait, there's more they're charging you for. Royal has also increased their gratuities to be competitive and attract crew members, while also giving them a little bit of slack. Royal Caribbean used to clean your room during the daytime as well as the nighttime. However, they're going to make it a lot easier on their housekeeping staff by just condensing it to one day. So now it's up to the cruisers if they want their room cleaned at day or night, but they will not be getting the 2-a-day cleanings anymore. In an effort to save money, Royal Caribbean has also revoked lounge access to those that were previously in Diamond Plus. So this has never affected me personally, but knowing that Royal Caribbean has now upped the lounge access to just Pinnacle, which is just a really fancy word. You're at the Pinnacle, you're at the top, you deserve that lounge access, but you have to be a Pinnacle member now to even think about getting lounge access. And speaking about Norwegian adding some additional costs on top of gratuities, they're now charging for continental breakfast, which is literally just delivering cereal to your room. There is a flat fee of $5. So if you're too lazy or too hungover and you can't get out of bed because you're going to throw up and you want to get that room service delivered to you, it's a flat fee of $5, which was free a year ago. And this isn't going to affect your experience on the ship, but this is definitely going to affect your experience when it comes to customer service off the ship. Is Norwegian has laid off 9% of their land workforce. So those people answering your calls when you have a question, those people that are booking. So all of that stuff leading up to your vacation or even post-vacation when you have any issues that you need resolved. It's going to be longer wait times on the phone now, which just no one's ever happy about. Basically, all cruise lines are forced to either dial in what they're offering on board or increase their prices. And a lot of cruise lines have been staying true. However, I have seen Royal Caribbean has really been pushing the higher price tags. We looked to board the new Icon of the Seas, and it was over $7,000 for an interior on the maiden voyage, which is absolutely absurd. I have never seen any cruise fare come close to that. So I think it's very clear in 2023 which cruise lines are going to be trying to pinch their pennies or which ones are just going to increase their costs and leave it the way it has been for years. Unfortunately, time will tell which those will be, but I can assure you it won't be Carnival raising their prices. Regardless though, cruising is still an amazing experience. It is not the same as it was in 2019, and that wasn't the same as it was in 1990. Cruising has gotten more casual. Cruising continues to have some cutbacks. It's not as luxurious. It's more for the everyday person now. Back in the day when we were just on the Titanic, you had the richest of the rich in the entire world on those ships. Nowadays, you have me on those ships. So obviously there's going to be a lot of differences in the type of people that are cruising these days and how much money is being floated around on these ships. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I still think cruising is the way to go when it comes to booking a vacation, just because all the value is there. You do get to see so many countries and you do save quite a bit of money on the food as well as the excursions and all of that. So 2023 is right around the corner. I wish you all a happy and safe new year. And if you're watching this in 2023, hopefully no virus killed us again. See you guys on the next video. Peace.